living in the US especially, and I think it's most of these, wealthy countries,
Yeah.
you get complacent
Mm-hmm.
and you forget that this is not what the world actually
Yeah.
is. Like
Yeah,
there are
that's
people
true.
starving to death
Mm-hmm.
in the masses.
Yeah.
There are people being kidnapped and abducted and just dying, just
Mm-hmm.
dying.
Yeah.
And then we're over here and we've got all this
Mm-hmm.
wealth and life is so
Yeah.
nice. Even if you're homeless, I think I would rather be homeless here than homeless in
Oh, definitely. Yeah.
Afghanistan or India. I mean, India
Yeah,
has
because-
slums with
Yeah. Just
hundreds of thousands of people.
yeah, much larger than like Eureka. Just
Yeah.
people just kind of making their own houses as
Living
they can.
in what looks like a landfill.
Yeah.
Dying masses dying.
Yeah, because there's no like sanitation or garbage
You're not
program,
washing
or
your
there's
hands. You're
no.
not shitting in a flushing toilet.
Yeah, exactly.
What? You're gonna go crap out in front of your house? Like
Mm-hmm.
that? Thinking about that is just such a foreign concept. I think,
But
for
that's
most
just
of
so
us.
normal for them over there too. Like,
Yeah.
it would be weird for them to know that we have like our own separate room for shitting, and we sit on a nice porcelain throne or something. It's like, why would you?
With fresh
That's
water,
kind of weird. Yeah, why are you pissing and crapping in
drinkable water,
fresh
Like, what
drinkable water?
What is
like
that?
my cousin died of dehydration the other day, or like poisoned water or something. Like they don't even have fresh water supply, which just makes you think there's enough wealth and infrastructure out there to make sure that everyone in the world has food and water, but we just that's not you can't make money off. You can't make money off of that.
We're not in the
You
business
can't make
of
money off of making sure that the global population is healthy and well fed and hydrated. I mean, it's just it makes sense, but it's just sick to think about that we're almost allowing that to happen. Like
you almost have to not think about it to get on with your life. Because if you sit there, it's like philosophy, right? If you start thinking about it, and you start looking into it, it gets ugly fast.
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of people like to say, "Oh, there's nothing I can do about it." And I mean, to an extent, yeah, there's probably nothing you can do to solve the whole problem, but there's tons of people who just drop everything and dedicate their lives to it because they realize how big of a problem it is around the whole world.
Yeah. Yeah, I had Haley Lamb come on the podcast, and she's volunteered in a ton of different countries.
Oh, really?
And done a lot of work. And, you talk to somebody like that, and you're like, okay, like,
oh, yeah,
it's doable. It's just, I mean, do you want to take a year off of your life to go do that? Not a lot of people do.
If it sounds lazy of me, but if it's all set up for me, if there's like a group already out there doing that, I'd be like, okay, sign me up. If I can just like, leave everything and go do that for a year, I'd love to go help out. But it just takes the initiative of planning something like that or having
the logistics of it all.
Yeah, like I'm sure it costs a lot of money, and to plan something like that, and
then it's
tickets.
Like, what's the dent that makes? Right, I'd imagine it's like the war on drugs, where you arrest some people, you get some drugs off the street, but you're not really putting a dent in the real problem.
Yeah,
and I mean, if you're you could go over there and you could do some good. But I mean, like, especially with India, I mean, they've got like 1 billion people over there.
Yeah.
And you see those slums, and it's like, how do you tackle that problem?
I mean,
like,
in and of itself, it might not even be, a problem if they have clean drinking water and a healthy source of like food.
They don't, though. I don't think.
Constant work. Yeah, but yeah, if you could give them that at least, like. I've heard like, rich people would go over and give away like 100 hamburgers to the local kids. That's actually really hurtful for that society because those kids and families won't go to their regular people where they get food from, and they won't be able to sell that and get whatever, like get their daily wages because these Americans came and gave away free hamburgers, something like that. So if we could just help people out by like giving them wells to clean drinking water, or I don't know, farming techniques. I don't know. The food's a hard part.
It's that expression of you got to teach someone to fish.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just give people a ton of free food. Like,
but it's hard if they're starving, right? If there's no money, and there's no food, then it's kind of hard to be like, well, I don't want to give you the food because I don't want to take away from this other thing. But if there's no other thing and they're starving, it's like, how do you provide that in mass to help everybody?
Yeah, you really can't. I mean, you can't just fix it.
No, it's not one of those problems you can just throw money at.
But does that mean that it's not worth like even trying? I mean, because I know some people over there, they might just be like, what do you mean? Like, we're doing fine. Get out of here trying to like help me and make me feel bad that you're like better than me and you're helping out poor Indians when we like have our own way of culture. Like, this is how we normally do things. But like,
that's an interesting perspective, right? Because you hear the argument of, you know, if you've grown up poor, like you don't really realize you're poor until you're next to someone who's wealthy. Like it's that mindset of, well, if we're all poor, like, are we actually poor?
Yeah.
But it's I don't know. It's hard looking at it from this perspective, right? Because neither of us are over there.
Yeah.
I don't know what it's actually like. You know, I'm just seeing
you see videos.
Yeah, you're just seeing what's put out,
clips. But yeah, it's hard to know.
You don't know what it's actually like to live in that and have that be your life and what you would want to try to better that, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, God, it's just there's 7.5 billion different people out there. Like, it's just that number alone is so hard to wrap your mind around. Like, there's 7.5 billion different ways to live your life. And I mean, some people just like suffering is a part of that. Like,
it's crazy to think that, right? Some people will die without ever, you know, doing things we take for granted, without ever having shoes.
Yeah.
Something as small as having shoes.
Yeah. But their feet are so tough and leather, they don't even really think, why would I need shoes? It's
yeah. I mean, we used
why do I need these things around my feet that slow me down? Like, what the hell? Like, why are you guys doing that? If you step on a rock, you'll be crying, your foot will bleed. Like, you little sissy. Like, they might think something like that. Like,
yeah, it's hard a weird. Life is a weird thing because, I mean, we didn't pick to be born here. We were just born here. Like, it's the lottery. Okay, where's this next one coming out at?
Yeah,
and your life is so varied, purely by the fact of where you're born and to who you're born to.